go live.
All right, do it then. Let's go.
Yo,
No going back.
let's see if this is live. Let me see if this is live. And we are, hang on. Somebody's listening to this. Okay, we're not live yet. I guess it's not going to go live until 3. Hang on, let me check YouTube. We're not on Twitter. Let me see. Oh, it's upcoming. Yeah, so we're scheduled. So we're going live in 2 minutes. Last time there was a countdown. Yeah. Right? Or no? Like there was a countdown up here that showed up. Yeah. Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah, we're going live in 2 minutes. I'll let you know when it starts. That's kind of cool, though, that it doesn't start until, you know, everything. So let me go here. Let me check out Zapstream. Are we live on Zapstream yet? Zapstream. Oh, yeah, we're not live yet either, but it's showing. Can you see that? So it's just showing that it's about to come up. That's dope, dude.
All right, I gotta.
Oh, there it goes. Now we're live on Zapstream.
Let's go.
And, okay, hang on. We still got a minute to wait because, hey everybody, if you're watching on Zapstream, we're waiting 1 minute to go live on all the other platforms. So hang tight. Let's see. Do we go live on Twitter? Oh, never mind. We're live. We're live on Twitter. Santos, let's go. We're live on Twitter, but it didn't go live on PlebLab Twitter. That makes no sense. Gosh. Okay. Hang on. Well, maybe I'll go live at 8. Let's just wait a minute. People can watch us drink our coffees. Yeah, so how was your day, Santos?
You like jazz? Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, it's been a really sick day, and this is what I've been looking forward to.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some good stuff today. We're gonna get into some good stuff today.
Definitely.
Let's see here. Where's Restream? All right. Looks like we are live now. Santos? Let's do it.
Yeah, what's up?
Let's do it. So what are we going to be going over today?
Today we're going to be going over Nostr, yeah, for devs. So we'll do an introduction to Nostr, and we'll be writing our first event, shipping that, and having some fun.
Cool. Yeah.
We'll be looking at some code bases that I've written. Yeah, we'll do a really nice dev deep dive. Hopefully it'll inspire someone to write some Nostr apps at a hackathon.
Let's share that screen that if you have it up on yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to start sharing out these links, but let me grab all these real quick.
Cool.
Awesome. So what's NBD? I've heard about this.
Yeah, NBD is an open source initiative by Zebedee. So we do cool cypherpunk hacker stuff, to put it simply.
And what's some projects that you guys have launched through there? Or
yeah, let me give a share here. So if you want to check out some cool like NBD stuff that we've released, we have this awesome site. It is nbd.wtf, and you can see all of the open source repositories that we have. So we have Nostr, OBW, Poncho, Cliche, Immorton, LN Decoder, Nostr tools, and so much more. If you click the link, then you'll be taken to nbd-wtf on GitHub.
Okay. So I think the first thing that we're going to jump into is the TabConf hackathon. Let's pull it up.
All right, let's do it.
So for anybody that's listening right now that haven't seen this, go to what's the URL again? It's
tabconf.zbd.gg.
Yeah, .gg. Head there, sign up. We're gonna have like 10,000 in prizes. We're trying to rack up some more sats out there. We're hustling. We're doing it for everybody that's going to be attending. If you haven't yet signed up, definitely sign up. I think, Santos, you're working on something to make it a little bit easier for people who don't want to share their email or who don't want to type, basically. If they just want to click on something. What are you working on, Santos, to make it easier for them to sign up?
Yeah, you can sign up quite easily already. It's just 3 fields. And pretty soon we'll have Noster sign up as well.
Yeah, I think Carmen was asking for that. So we're trying to get that implemented at some point. Right now, we only have one sponsor, Fulgur Ventures, and the great people at TabConf. So
yep. We got some great resources for you too, though. We have some Learn section, Lightning course, Building with the Zebedee API, Pleb book. We got some templates for you. So yeah, plenty of things.
And also the show them the categories. So this is like really important here. So these are the categories that we're going to be doing this year at TabConf. There's going to be a Lightning category, LNURL category, a Noster category, which I'm sure everybody's going to sprinkle some Noster in their project. And then we're going to have the best hack, which also I didn't tell you this, Santos, but I ordered the trophy. So the trophy is going to get sent straight to Atlanta. And it's coming straight from this little boutique trophy store here in Austin, Texas. So you're getting a gift from Austin here in Austin, Texas. They're making it by hand. So you're gonna also get a trophy if you win best hack. That's another incentive. And most hackathons, you saw it like last year, right? Like or at SatSpy, like Benny like drink out of the trophy cup. He put a lot of beer in there and he drank out of it. Justin Moon also did that. So Justin Moon also did that the year at Bitcoin Plus Hackathon. He poured beer in the trophy and they all drank out of it. So we're expecting people to keep the tradition. If you win the best hack, you have to drink out of the trophy cup. So yeah, it's another reason to sign up. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. Anyways, you want to jump into it?
10K plus in prizes too. That's not bad.
Yeah.
I'll take that for a weekend of hacking. I don't know about you, but I'd be happy with some prizes.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so why don't we go ahead and jump into it then?
Yeah.
And Car, can you share the link too whenever you get a chance? We'll go ahead and share that. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So by NBD, we have Introduction to Noster. So we're going to be taking a look at all things Noster. We're going to look at some code. We're going to write some code. Let's have some fun. So we covered this sign up already. This is the URL. If it was hard to understand, it's tabconf.zbd.gg. You can sign up. Now getting into Noster, you can see where Noster is located on GitHub. It's under noster-protocol/Noster, and you can go to nbd.wtf. From there, you can see it's a truly censorship-resistant alternative to Twitter that has a chance of working. It's a simple protocol, the simplest even, that is able to create a censorship-resistant global social network once and for all. And I think, Noster really is a new social communications protocol. So it doesn't require on any trusted central server, hence it's resilient. It's based on cryptographic keys and signatures, so it's tamper-proof. It does not rely upon peer-to-peer techniques, therefore it works. So straight from the repository itself, this is what Noster is, and sprinkled in my own take. So the problem, like, why do we even care about a decentralized alternative based on key pairs and signatures such that it is tamper-proof? Like, why do we care? Well, apps are built on the traditional client-server architecture where you don't own your ability to publish, store, edit, and retrieve your own data. So, for example, if you're on the Twitter app and you're using the Twitter servers, you can read and write to your own Twitter account. However, what if you are, using multiple social media applications like many of us are? Well, you have a problem. You cannot use the shared identity amongst the different social applications that you're using. So you cannot write to, for example, TikTok servers or to the TikTok client from Alice. You have to use third-party integrations. But what happens if you get banned and you lose your following? You lose your ability to influence. You lose your ability to communicate from wherever you built your following. And then you essentially have to start over on another social network or create another account if you're able to. And this doesn't really create a lot of interoperability. And this creates some big significant weaknesses, as we've seen with folks getting banned for Twitter for arbitrary reasons, even speaking the truth. And having it labeled as misinformation. So we see like all these enormous issues with existing social media platforms, not only just from like a technological level, but also from like a social and philosophical level and political level. They're all essentially operating in their own silos, and we don't need to operate that way anymore. The solution is that events that are provably yours speak the same language between server and apps and own your identifier and following. So this is Nostr. It has events that are Schnorr signed. We have JSON messages that are relayed over WebSocket servers, which are relays. So Nostr, as it compares to something like Twitter, is the first open decentralized communications protocol that aims to solve the problem of siloed social media problems, amongst many other things. But as you can see on this quick comparison on the right, you can see that there's enormous benefit to using a protocol like Nostr compared to a siloed, centralized social media platform. So it's interoperable, so it can work quite easily with other protocols. People can contribute to it. It's open source. It has global payments, which are called ZAPs, which are payments over the Lightning Network. You have identity and following ownership. So you get banned from one Nostr client, you can move to another Nostr client or Nostr app. They're both user-friendly, both on mobile and web, though you have censorship resistance with Nostr. So you get, again, if you get banned from a client, you can still broadcast to like multiple sets of relays, including your own. It's tamper-proof because you're signing the event and provably showing that the person that is publishing from this public key, has the private key, and others can verify it because of that. So let's go ahead and take a look into the Nostr fundamentals here. So we have.
Hey Santos, I want to bring up one thing. This is why Nostr. Yeah. It's kind of weird how this just naturally happened today. But like, so Twitter is not letting us stream to. It's not letting us do this hacker stream right now. So this is another reason to build on Nostr. It's like literally stuck in sending data. So there you go.
Yeah, we'll have to get the recording, and then I'll make some like kind of light edits to it, and then maybe we'll ship a video.
But it's streaming right now on YouTube, on Twitch, and our PBS Twitter. So I'm gonna retweet it from there. But it's not streaming to the PlebLab Twitter. This is not the first time they've done this to us, by the way. But I think maybe we're doing Nostr. I don't know.
Yeah, Twitter's like, get the Nostr out of here.
Does it block? Do they block Nostr posts? Are you still able to post about Nostr on Twitter?
I don't know. I don't use Twitter that much anymore, to be honest with you.
Neither do I.
Yeah. All right. So getting back to the presentation, looking at Nostr fundamentals, we have key pairs. So on the left, you can see we have public and then we have private information from left to right. The public information on Nostr is like an email address, phone number, user ID. It's something that you can give out and to share with other people. So you can see what it looks like on the bottom left. For example, it has npub and then the encoded public key appended afterwards, and then for your secret it has nsec with the private key encoded appended afterwards. And this is something you never want to give out with anyone. You can think of it as like a password, a passphrase, something like that. Now, encoding types. So this is used for saving space and readability of the data. So on the left, you can see some examples of hex, and then on the right, you can see an example of Bec32, and you can see like the general shape of the data. So when you see one of these, you kind of understand what it is the goal of this. You don't need to know like how hex works or how Bec32 works, but just at a high level, you can see what kind of encoding type that you're dealing with, because some applications require you to convert it between the two types. So that's why we're presenting this and why it's important to know about it at a high level. So a hash, you can consider this to be like a fingerprint. It's totally unique and impossible to derive the inputs used. Typically, the algorithm that's used is SHA-256, and it's used for multiple different things, but it's used for like signatures. It's used for challenges that are presented to clients, and I can show an example of that later on. It's used for Nostr identifiers, kind of combining all the event data, hashing it, and then putting out the Nostr ID. From there, we have events. So everything in Nostr is this same blob of data. Everything in Nostr is considered to be an event. So you have this ID, you have this public key, you have this created at time, which is a timestamp that's converted to an integer. We have kinds of events that tells you what kind of event it is, so you know how to handle it. Certain clients care about certain event kinds, and then some others don't. We have tags, so we can add additional metadata about this particular event, as well as use it depending upon the event kind, even in the content that you're rendering back to the user. We have content, and we have a signature, for example. So Nostr event kinds. So you can go to the repository, the Nostr protocol repository, and you can see all the different types of events that there are. And I'm sure there's many that are undocumented or people are kind of using in stealth, but you can see that some of the common ones like metadata, short text note, recommended relays, encrypted direct messages, so on and so forth. So then you have Nostr tags. So it goes into this Nostr tags array. So it's like an array within an array. And you can add multiple different types of additional metadata about the event. So you can add a reference to like a public key. You can add like titles, bolt 12, challenge, countless different things. Then you have the created at property as a part of the event. This is, again, the timestamp that's converted to an integer, and that's the date and time when creating the event. Certain clients will use this information to validate whether or not you're sending them something recent or not. You have, whoops, I forgot to update this, but this Nostr content property is where you would add, for example, just a text note or even markdown for the blog type content. We have relays, which is a WebSocket server that speaks the language of Nostr. You can have paid relays, meaning that you have to pay and give your public key in order to be allowed to send or receive events from this particular server. Some servers are completely unpaid, and you don't have to pay anything to be able to send and receive events. And ultimately, they store your events. They store other people's events. So this will be a nice time to pause before kind of dropping back into getting into some code. Card, is there a hackathon going on that's Pleb Lab?
Actually, there is, Santos. It's a good thing that you bring this up. Can you pull up the TabConf website? So besides the hackathon, there's also this amazing developer conference. It's like it's probably one of the most technical developer conferences, I would say, in North America. It's one of them, at least. But there's this amazing website called, go to TabConf, click on the top one, Santos. Yeah, that one. So there's, as you can see, I'm already at TabConf right now. I'm in the waiting room. I'm here outside waiting to be let in because I'm just like super excited to go to TabConf. But as you can see there's tons of builders, workshops, villages. There's going to be like, the main stage schedule, the Bit Devs, Socratic Village, the Lightning Village. That's the one that me and Santos are going to be in, that Zebedee is putting together. And then we're going to do the hackathon in there too. Then the Base 58 Protocol Village, that's where Nifty is going to be. The Next Gen Village is another amazing village. Yeah, dude, there's going to be so much awesome like developer content out there. If you're a builder or even thinking about joining the Bitcoin space, this is where you go to find your tribe, to find your people. And there's going to be amazing nights. We're going to have hacker nights, and people are going to be partying and all sorts of things. And then, but also, if you go scroll down a little bit more, as you can see there, there's the hackathon. So you sign up, you go to the website, you click that, and then you have fun. You have fun. Santos will be there. I'll be there. We'll be helping. There's tons of content there for you to learn. Dude, what else am I missing? I feel like, oh, also, make sure you buy a ticket to TabConf. It's a good conference to support. That's what I would say. Look at that. They're still selling them. What, $300? That's so inexpensive. For 4 days in Atlanta? Oh, man. That's amazing. Definitely sign up if you haven't signed up yet, and we'll see you there. We'll see you in Georgia.
Yeah, the knowledge you'll get is priceless, honestly. Yeah. 321 USDs.
And just the connections, in general. Like, you're going to meet a lot of people that you probably wanted to meet. Yeah. So there's going to be tons of people that you'll be able to network with, at events and like even during the conference.
Yeah, one cool thing about this conference too is it's completely grassroots and open.
Oh yeah,
if you have ideas,
great.
You can even submit them and present at TabConf, so you can even get more value.
Yeah, I would say too. Like, we submitted ours like back in December-ish, January-ish, or something like that. Maybe February. I forget when it was, Santos. But we got in early. I think that's why we got accepted. But no, like, everybody is submitting now, and they're like a month away, so they're having a. They have a hard time picking, but there's going to be some really amazing. I like how they did that this year as opposed to the years before where it was just kind of like whatever panels. This year was like, that's just the way to go for doing conferences. What do you think, Santos? That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's definitely cool.
Yeah, we need to update that page. We'll get to it.
Yeah, it's old. This was just a proposal that we did.
Oh, okay. Cool. If you haven't signed up, sign up, buy a ticket. TabConf. We'll see you there in Atlanta. $300. Not bad.
All right, cool. Let's get back to it. So let's look at some event examples. So
high voltage
when I was first
sign,
learning about
high voltage sign,
Ooh.
high voltage sign.
Wow. Somebody just sent us 2,100 sats.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. Jenna?
Very kind.
Very kind. Cool.
All right. So with the profile metadata event, this is exactly the shape and the type of things that you would include within this Noster metadata event type. So this is kind 0. As you can see there's a public key populated. This would be the author of the event's public key. You can see some logic on how you would actually do the timestamp conversion. So converting timestamp date now into something that can be used with this within the Noster protocol. You set the kind to 0. You have 0 tags, and then you have content. And this is kind of a clever way to use strings. So you can set this to a stringified JSON object where you have a name, which is the username. You have the about, where you can have a string. And then, for example, you can have a picture, which is like your avatar. You can then hash the event to create Noster ID. And then from there, you can sign the event, which then, creates a signature, and then that's what you put in the event here, and this is what you'll ultimately broadcast to a particular relay. And now you'll see the example of a short note event. It's a signed event. So we're going to send this out. This is like, for example, the social clients that are similar to like Twitter, for example, this is the event kind that they're using. So something like Primal it's mainly reliant upon these sort of short text notes. So you have a public key. Again, you have the timestamp. The only difference is you have kind of 1. You have the content here, which is a string. So you're not using it as a JSON string. You're just using it as a regular text note string. From there, you're adding the ID, you're creating a signature, and you're broadcasting that to a relay. Then we have a long form content event. So for example, if you're trying to create like blog type content that's shown on like abla.news, for example, this is exactly the way that you're going to structure this event. So you'll have like kind, you can have tags potentially for like a title and subject if you wanted to. Just depends on how you want to implement it, how other applications have implemented it. You'll add like some markdown similar to what you would use in like GitHub. So you can use like a markdown editor. There's lots of different versions of this open source. You're going to create the ID from the other data by hashing it, the event object, and then you're going to sign it, which then create the signature, and then you're going to add it as a string, and then you're going to send this to a Nostr relay. So as you can see, between like all these different event kinds, everything is just an event, and it's very flexible. And once you kind of grok it, you really grok it.
Yeah.
The limits to what you're going to build is just limitless.
Yeah, dude, we've been doing, just at PlebLab, we've been doing the workshops. Like last year, Super did the workshop for Nostr. I think it was like in August. And then like everybody, even me, and I'm not a coder, you know that. And I was able to, by the end of the 50 minutes, was able to pick it up. It was pretty. And then also Christopher from Arc, he also did a workshop and he showed us to use it with like Next.js and all that kind of stuff. And even then I was like, wow, I was kind of following along. So yeah, if you're interested, definitely go to like Zebedee, the links that we were showing you. And then also the PlebLab YouTube. We have a lot of Nostr courses. And then of course our Nostr course too. So it's really fun, dude. Nostr is really fun to build on.
Yeah, and if you're in Texas, you got to stop by the Pleb Lab. That's where everything's happening.
Absolutely. And then I think Fiat Joff was the one, he was the one that created it, right?
Yeah, Fiat Joff.
He was the one that created the protocol. So there you go. I mean, kind of makes sense. It's
Absolutely.
really cool.
All right, cool. So thinking about, the Nostr protocol. So like you've learned a lot about Nostr. You heard a bit about it earlier, that it doesn't necessarily rely upon one server that you're sending data to. So basically you have these clients, which are apps that can be on like a mobile phone, desktop, laptop, tablet, whatever. We'll see clients for everything. You can live on the web, not even just as an app, but it could be a web app. So you use these clients to then broadcast and to create events. From there, you're sending it to different relays. So you're going to write it to relay A, relay B, ... and then relay Z, for example. So any number of relays that you're interested to in sending it to. So if relay A bans you, then you can just go to relay B, C, D, all the way to Z to still fetch the events that you're creating. And then you can also read from them. So it's such that like, hey, I want to go to relay B and read this data. And there could be multiple ways of like structuring this. For example, you could even use this as like a traditional client server architecture, but get the advantage of WebSockets, for example. So you could just use relay A, and then that can have like a specific model and use case. Maybe you want moderation for your particular application. But then any other application that's also using Nostr is following the same open standard that could maybe request data from your relay and get it back and render it on their page. So it allows, even if you're using a different architecture than what I'm showing here, there still allows for significantly more flexibility with building an application or aggregating information, for example. So that in and of itself is incredibly powerful. And then you know that it's tamper-proof. You can verify whether or not someone actually created something. If you want to take your following or your post somewhere else, you can. Absolutely.
You guys have documentation, right, on y'all's website for relays, to create a relay? Or am I imagining that?
Yeah, Andre Nevis, our CTO, wrote this awesome guide. It's on his blog where he walks you through step by step on how to create a paid Nostr relay. And that guide is awesome. Like we set one up for BitBlock Boom, which is...
Oh, yeah, you did Gary's, right? Didn't you do Gary's?
Yeah.
Is that the documentation that you used for that, dude?
Yeah, dude. I set
wow.
up in like
I remember.
Not too long at all.
He was coming by. Just real quick, Gary's side. I love Gary. Gary, I love you, by the way. He like came by and he was like asking everybody, and I was like, Santos, and you like literally set it up within like 30, 45 minutes, right? And then he was out there telling everybody, zap me, zap me. It was awesome. He was just saying it in his like in his boomer way. It was cool. Yeah, love Gary.
Yeah, Gary's awesome. And that's another great conference that's coming up too.
Oh yeah, the BitBlock Boo. Yeah. But yeah, so to get back to this, so yeah, you guys do have documentation on how to do a relay from scratch, basically, right?
Yeah, you can go to docs.zebedee.io.
Cool.
And learn how to set up a paid relay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so kind of looking at like the flow now, like a diagram of like how are you going to create, like what are like the different steps that you're going to have to do in order to create the basic event object. I was alluding to earlier, you need to hash the basic event object to create an ID. So then it's uniquely identifiable using hashes. So let's create an event. So basically the app wants to create an event. You create the event structure. And then essentially what that event structure is the public key, the timestamp as an integer, the kind, the tags that you want, and the content. So it's pretty straightforward. So you create that initially. And then from there, you're going to pass the basic event object to convert it to a JSON string. You're going to hash it, and then it's going to create the ID. So it sounds like a lot more complicated than what it actually is. So then from there, you just add the ID to the event, and then you're going to create a signature. And that'll prove that you are who you say you are, and that you have the authority to publish the event using the public key in the event. So then you'll take the event ID, convert it to bytes, and then you're going to sign the event with the secret key and convert it to hex. So slightly off in my memory earlier about the exact nature of this flow. But yeah, this is the actual flow, and then we have some code-based examples that I wrote. So once you have like the signature and you have the ID along with the basic structure to the event, you're going to connect your relay. You're going to construct an array with the event and have UTF-8 encoding, which sounds more complicated than it is writing it in code, and is generally a standard for sending any data over the internet. Then once you send it, you'll get a result back from the relay, and the relay will have notified you that it's either accepted the event or denied the event. And we can show two different examples.
Dude, this is amazing. I love how you're able to like kind of break this down really, really easy. Are you going to be sharing this slide deck later, or is it just going to be, do you have this on anywhere like on Zebedee or on your personal?
Yeah, I'll be sharing this 100%. I have a portfolio site. It's santos.lol, and that's where I put all my free and open education at.
Nice.
Yeah. And awesome. I'll share this. I'll send a tweet. I got to share the other one too that we did last week.
Yeah. Also, I mean, you're learning about Nostr right now, guys. You're literally learning about it. You're seeing how easy it is. You're thinking, you know, where could I use this? Where could I make money doing this? Guess what? There's a hackathon coming. It's coming next month. How many days away is the hackathon? It's like, what, 15 days? Is it 15 days? Or is that? No, it's on the 6th, right?
I think about 21 days.
21 days.
21
what?
Or 22 days. Something like that.
I've been
I
waiting.
Say 21 because it sounds cooler.
I've been waiting outside of TabConf right here, waiting to be let in, and they won't let me in. And no wonder. I'm 21 days early. But for you, if you're out there and you're watching this, you have 21 days to sign up. Where do they go, Santos?
They go to tabconf.zbd.gg.
So you click that. You click that link. You sign up, and you get registered. Then you can use all this knowledge that we're going over. Also, by the way, we're doing a Twitter Spaces on Friday, Santos, just so we can talk to everybody about all these prizes and everything else. And but you can sign up there, put your name, NIM doesn't matter, email, team name, and then get to TabConf, buy a ticket, and then boom, you're right in front of us. You get to enter, and then before you know it, you have all these sats. Oh, I didn't tell you. So I'm thinking about this year was like getting those. Have you seen these? Here, let me pull this out. I was thinking about getting these little cards. So like getting like 4 of these for each category, Santos, and then that way we just give the winners, like we give them the trophy, right? Give them the trophy. Then we give them 1 of these each, and this has already the sats loaded up, and all they got to do. Cool. Isn't that a better idea than like getting to them afterwards? And I was like, no, let's just get like 4 of these. We just hand it to them, say like, hey, verify there's all these sats on there. You win. Here's your trophy. Kumbaya. So I was thinking about it today.
Yeah, I love that idea.
We tested it out
cool.
with this one that we had. It comes with this little kind of metallic like shield, so no one can steal your sats. But like this one has 100K sats just loaded on it. It's a Texas, you know, NSC sats card. And then all we got to do is just go boom. Here's your winnings. Here's your trophy. That's what I'm saying. You got to get to Atlanta. You got to show off all the stuff that you're going to be building, and you're going to leave away. Either way, you're going to leave away a winner, because you're either going to get a job from this, start a startup. There's so many great things that could happen afterwards, or you just join a company like Zebedee, right? Or worst case scenario, you come hang out at Pleb Lab. We'll take you in. So
absolutely,
yeah. Anyways, that's my pitch. Definitely.
Yeah, I think people should go. I mean, maybe I'm a little biased here, but I think folks should attend and they should hack. And especially when you see how easy writing these Nostr apps.
It's fun, dude. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Like, who doesn't want to build the future, Car? Who doesn't want
I don't know. Why don't you want to build the future? Come and build the future with us. Come to TabConf. We're going to have a blast. I can't wait. What we got going on next? Oh, we're going to build.
We're going to build our first event. Now,
nice.
We're going to go ahead and take a look at this repository. So we have it pulled up here already in our browser.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find this Nostr Python util here, and this is for instructional purposes only. So I wouldn't recommend using this for like a production use case.
Okay.
But what we can do is we can clone this repository just like that, and then let's go ahead and cd. Let's go ahead and install the requirements. So from there, you can create like a virtual environment. I already have the code. You can copy it directly from the repository. Boom.
Nice, dude.
Now you can just copy this, sit back, relax, maybe drink a mojito. I don't know. Just chill.
Will we have mojitos at the hackathon? Will there be mojitos at TabConf?
I mean, you know, if you want it to be at the hackathon, it could be at the hackathon. But yeah, Zebedee will be doing some cool stuff in the evening. We'll have this like fun section of the Lightning Village. So during this fun section, it's like after, you know, all the talks and everything all day, there'll be this cool, you know, area you can chill as a hacker. We'll have some like good refreshments, refreshing beverages available, some great conversation, and some really cool people hanging out. So just like you were talking about networking earlier, you know, come and hang out, meet some new people, chat, talk about Bitcoin, talk about Nostr.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah.
Ops leading the fiat system. I mean, you know.
And if
possibilities are endless.
If you want to be the sponsor for mojitos, definitely reach out to me or Santos. You have a margarita machine. We can that way you can keep it like, you know, non-alcoholic and alcoholic one. It'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be very fun. I don't drink alcohol, so I'll take a non-alcoholic one for me.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's take a look at what we got going on here, right? So if you remember earlier, we were looking at this presentation. And we were thinking about the event kinds that exist. Like, let's even get more abstract here. We were looking at this event kind, and we were thinking, all right, ID, pub key, created at, kind, tags, content, and signature. So here we have the ability to use a function written in Python, and we're creating a public key. We're assigning it to the variable priv key, and then we're going to serialize it, and we're just calling this function. And then from the private key, we're getting the pub key, and we're serializing it, converting it to hex. From there, we're taking the key pair and returning it. So that's how you're getting your key pair. From timestamp, I'm just creating time.time, getting the current time and converting it to an integer and returning the timestamp. For the event kind, I just have this kind of like loose if statement, nothing complicated. But just so I can pass in like text and then set the kind and get it returned. So it just makes it a little bit easier. So now let's take a look at what we got going on around creating the event ID. So we talked about earlier, we looked at that user flow or that diagram where it looked a little bit intimidating to create the ID, right? It's like, oh, convert to JSON string hash and then create an ID and add it to the event. Well, all we're going to do is we're going to pass in the pub key from the event, the timestamp, the kind, tags, and the content. Here, we're converting it to a JSON string, and then we're using the hash library to take the event data, encode it in UTF-8. So it's just a method call with one argument. Then we're going to hash it with SHA-256, and then we're going to convert it to hex, and then that's what we're returning. So you can just copy and paste this if you're like a Python coder. And even if you're using like a browser extension, like NOS2X, for example, it's even easier than this. This is like the lowest level. This is about as hard as it gets on the protocol level. So that's how you create like an event ID. So for example, you want to create a signature. So remember that we take in the event ID in the private key to then sign it. So first what we're doing is we're converting this to a byte array from hex. So we're passing in like a hex event ID. We're converting it to bytes. And then we're using our private key to sign it. So we're going to sign the ID in bytes. This is an argument that's required. Otherwise, this package that I'm using throws an error. And then I'm setting raw to true. And then once I get that back, I'm assigning it to the sig variable. And then I'm converting the signature to hex. And then I'm returning it. So like really straightforward on that flow. As you can see, it's only like 3 lines of code. And we could actually even simplify this further if we wanted to, just to paste here. And then we could just return the signature. So we could do that. So you could even make it 2 lines of code. And then we have some logic on how to broadcast the event. So like one of the final steps here, right? So we want to broadcast the event. We're going to connect to a relay. We're going to send them the event. We're going to receive the result, and then we're going to print it out. So here we have like creating a connection to the relay URI that we pass in. We're going to send the event that we passed in. This is the final event with this sort of array structure. We're going to stringify it, and then we're going to encode it as UTF-8, and then we're going to get the result back after we send it, because we're using the send method here. We're going to get it back, and then we'll be able to print out the result and then close the connection to the relay. So that covers like all of these flows, basically, in code. So we just have some very simple functions, a little early for that one. But no, we already passed that one, right? So we're here now. So then if you want to publish the event, all you do to get the timestamp is you're going to create the timestamp. You're going to get the event kind. So it's just, remember that this is just returning the timestamp. We're going to get the event kind. So it's just a very simple function where we're passing in short note to get kind 1. So then from there, we're assigning it to kind. We're passing in a key pair as a public key with the timestamp, the kind, tags, and content. And remember, you could set tags here to be whatever you want. So you can look at the Nostr repository to know which kind you actually want to, or which tags that you want to pass in here as arguments, and you can pass them in. From there, we're going to call the create event ID. And from the create event ID, remember that the steps that we're following, and ultimately what we're going to get back is an event ID in hex, like that's a hash. So we're going to assign that to event ID. Then we're going to create the signature, like we reviewed earlier. Once that's done, we're going to create the final event. And this is what we're going to broadcast to the relay. So we have the event. So we're passing in the event and the relay URI. And that relay URI is what we get from this function being called. So this is how we can publish the short note and the long form note. So clear as mud.
Yeah, dude, that was really well explained.
Thank you. So now let's go ahead and actually broadcast an event. So this first one's going to fail. I think we're going to get an error because the relay, we're not subscribed to that relay. So just giving everyone a heads up that that's going to happen and that's expected. All right, so let's see. There we go. That was actually not an expected error, but I just undid it. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the actual error that we were expecting. And we received OK, and then false, and then blocked no active subscription. So it actually looks like it accepted our event, but it returned some other additional information about being blocked with no active subscription. Then let's broadcast one to Damus and see what happens with Damus.
Yeah, let's see here.
And now we got a true, and then we got no blocked. So now we actually could look this event up and see the Noster event. So you can actually search this ID and pull up a post that says Zebedee rules. And it'll just be from this key pair that I generated, right? All I'm doing is passing that key pair in. I'm passing the relay that I want to broadcast it to, the content, the tags, and then I'm referencing it to my public key, my actual public key. So then I can see when it happens. So yeah, that's pretty much publishing a short note. So this is like about as low level as you can get and bare bones that you can get. And if you want to understand Nostr, I personally like to start at those kind of places where I'm at the lowest level and then work my way up the kind of abstraction layers, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, this is phenomenal. Does
the audience have any questions? This is probably a good like point to start if anyone's been commenting or asking questions.
No, I think Twitter's just blocked us. They blocked us. So the only thing that we're streaming to is YouTube, Twitch, and Zapstream. We're streaming on Nostr, but yeah, I think you've explained it so well. It's either that or you've explained it so well there's no questions. One of the two. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, they just didn't let our Twitter post go through for it.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, Twitter is probably Elon tried to ban Nostr. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that. Maybe we should talk a little bit about that, right? Like, so for people that don't know what Nostr is or even cares, I would just mention that like Nostr came out of this kind of like grassroots kind of movement, right? And everybody was pitching in, helping it grow to this larger thing, what it is now. But in the early days, I would say probably like December, once Jack got on board, that's when like Elon started implementing all these changes on Twitter to like, I guess, to stop the Nostr growth. How would you describe it, Santos? Like you weren't able to share your npubs and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's essentially, he tried to ban a protocol is the simplest way to put it. And that is impossible to do. You can't ban a protocol. So
yeah. So anyways, that's why this is so important, is like we're building on freedom technology here. So I don't know. That's why I'm only on Nostr these days personally. I don't have a Twitter.
Yeah, I'm working towards getting rid of it myself.
But anyways.
Yeah, so Nostr Tools. So Nostr Tools is an open source repository by Fiat Joff and NBD. So this provides lower level functionality, but it's still like significantly abstracted. So you don't need to do all of these sort of like manual functions that I was writing like in Python. That was purely for me to understand like what's actually happening behind these methods, behind these function calls that are taking place in Nostr Tools. You could also look at NDK and the snort system if you want to like even have more out the box functionality. As this package says, if you want an easy to use full-fledged system, or a solution rather, that abstracts the hard parts of Nostr and makes decisions on your behalf, so it's opinionated, take a look at NDK and snort system. So check those out if you're interested. For the next demo and purposes that I'll be using Nostr Tools. So you can install it quite easily. So you can npm install Nostr Tools. You can see how easy it is to generate key pair, so generating the private key and the public key. You can see creating an event, getting the pub key, getting the timestamp, setting the kind, and then getting the ID is as simple as calling get event hash, and then getting signature is as simple as get signature event private key. So kind of similar to what I built in that kind of lightweight package or like utils library. And then from there, you can use some of the validation functionality. So you can use validate event, you can use verify signature to make sure that it's okay and very okay before you actually broadcast something on someone's behalf and get a rejected event, or try to push something that someone didn't actually like sign or doesn't know the secret to push an event out. Has relay connection functionalities. So I don't want to go, too deep into this, but I would recommend, if you're interested in building some JavaScript or TypeScript applications, this would be a great first place to start.
Yeah. Also, too, it's good to mention that the guys in PlebLab, they made a Nostr course, and I think Captain Stacks goes over Nostr tools specifically. So if you're interested in checking that out, check out the Nostr Devs course. It's kind of interesting, like seeing what you're doing, Santos, with like today, and how you're going about Nostr, and seeing how the guys do it at the lab. It's very similar. It's interesting how that kind of works, right? With the open source, like everybody kind of uses the same tools, and yeah,
absolutely. We gotta build on these open standards and contribute.
Yeah. Really cool to see.
So now we looked at this Nostr Python utils. Let's look at another code base that I worked on, something that's like, that I'm quite passionate about. So
you're going to show them okay. You're going to show them the one that you showed me the other day?
Yeah, I'll show that one. This one's different, though.
Okay.
I'll show both of those.
Okay.
But I'm going to show Formster, so I had some fun thinking about, like, the old days of vBulletin boards. So I used to, be an anon and posting on vBulletin boards, part of like a lot of different communities, and it was a blast. You made a lot of friends. Yeah, so it was just like absolutely fantastic time to be on the internet. It felt so free. You could just say whatever you want, and yeah, like you make friends. I had friends on like esport forums where we were playing Counter-Strike, and we're all toxic to one another all over the US and the world. And then we had one for World of Warcraft where we, all of the guild chisme or gossip was being discussed. You had, people that were infamous, you had people that were famous, and then you had like high competitive guilds like talking trash about each other, rating, and where they made progress to PvP trash talk. And then you had this cool one called like Rage Zone. So Rage Zone was like this European forum, and it had like all of these private game server files. So me, being like 13 and very much so interested in like hacking and private servers, databases and such, like you could follow these guides and set up your own private server of like World of Warcraft or Mew Online, or Risk or MapleStory, any of those popular games from the 2000s era. And you could set the experience rate. You could set the drop rate on like legendary or rare items. So you could essentially like play through the whole game when it would take you normally like 5 years to get to that point of nonstop grinding. You could get to there in like a day or a week.
It sounds like you were really heavily involved in that. Sounds like you were really into it.
I dabbled. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm heavily involved. I dabbled a little bit.
Let me check something. I just heard a pipe fall. Let me just check real quick and see what that is. It's pretty late here at the lab, so it's like 9 o'clock Texas time. So let me just double check this real quick, Santos. Keep going.
I'll keep going. We'll go through Formster. So then now, like, let's go ahead and run this code base, and you can see compiled. We have the web server set up, and now, like, let's head over to localhost, and we can take a look at it. So localhost 3000. Okay. And we're fetching form events, and then we're showing them on the page, is essentially what you're seeing here. And you can see that we like to talk about a lot of different things. We had some people at Kubo Plus using it. And you can create forms, and you can like publish these sort of events. So for example, you can put test and test. From there, you can see the thread. So you can say like test thread 1, test thread description 1, and then hello world as the content. And all of this is taking place all on Nostr. You can see the title, the description of the thread, the author's public key, the content, and then you can even reply with the comment like, yo.
Yeah, I came back. It was, just for people that are watching, it was a Ovi. He's putting together a table. So I was like, We were supposed to do it together. I guess he just started early, so okay, that's fine. It's good. I won't have to build the whole table. He'll get it started. What part are you at right now?
I'm walking through Formster, so I was walking through creating a form. We created a form. We now have this thread, and now we replied to the thread, and now we have a comment. So, yeah, this is essentially Formster, and this is writing events and reading events all at the same time. And then the cool thing is, you see, I'm running this local host. Well, I deployed this code base, and I'm also able to fetch it from like another server.
Cool.
And render this data. So it's all just like sending and receiving from the same relay, and you can add any number of relays to fetch events or aggregate information from. So that's like one really cool part of Noster. So now looking at like this code base, right, we have basically the index page. So it's showing like the form list, and then the link to actually create a form. And then on creating a form, we have, for example, the router. We have like creating an event, and what we're doing is we're stopping it from like doing the normal form behavior. We're getting from the form input fields the subject, the description, and then passing it in to create form, which we're calling this create form function that we're pulling in from Noster utils. So we'll go into Noster utils and we'll take a quick look. So we have connecting to a relay. We have publishing an event after connecting to a relay. We're closing the connection to the relay, and then voila, here is create form. So we receive the description and subject. We log that we're going to create the form, and then we have the event. We're getting the event ID. We're using Noster tools here. We're creating a signature, and then we're publishing the event. So this is one way that you can do it, where the server is going to handle this stuff. But mainly this code base is for educational purposes. Normally you would want to rely upon like the NOS2X browser extension, not have to handle people's keys directly, unless that's something that you're trying to do, like abstract the complexity away from users. So that's something you can do, but that should be a deliberate like application decision or product decision that you're making about whatever app that you're building. So that's how essentially the create works. So we have the subject, and then we have like when the form is submitted, we're going here to create, and then we're pushing the event out. And yeah, then from there, you're just redirected back to the form ID. So then the form ID is just going here. It's getting the form ID from the URL. We're then looking up the form detail and getting the form detail. So now we go back to Noster utils, and we're connecting to the relay. We're saying, hey, give me this form ID, and we're looking for all of the form details related to this particular form ID and event kind. And yeah, so then we're returning the form detail back to the page. And that's essentially what we render for here, the form description, the form subject. We also have the ability to create forms, or threads rather, in this form. So you can see very similar like sort of structure, and we're doing the same exact thing. We're creating a thread event, and then we're pushing them to the thread ID, where we're fetching the information about the thread and then rendering it. So you can see there's like a very clear pattern here. And now we have this last component where it's like thread list. What's thread list doing? So we're doing something very similar. So we're getting the threads, we're connecting to a relay, we're looking for the event kind that I decided to use, 11. I probably build or architect, or maybe model is the correct term. I would model this differently than what I originally did, just thinking of like Noster Network Now and some of the nips that are out there. But at the time, this is the decision I went just for my own kind of interest in building and doing hackathon stuff myself. And what we're doing is we're just like making a subscription to a relay, and we're getting all of the threads, and then we're setting the threads, and then we're pushing the event. So then we loop over all the threads, and then we map out all the threads that we're seeing in the particular client. So here, for example, we have the forms, and we're like doing the same thing to get the form list. Then we're getting the thread list, and then we're rendering on the page. So that's essentially what I just walked through on the code.
Wow.
And the same is true for like the thread ID. So I did this almost the same exact thing, where I'm fetching the thread detail, and then I'm rendering it on the page. And then I'm doing the same thing for creating comment, where you have this form to be submitted, and then it pushes you back to the thread ID. So you can see like there's a pretty clear-cut pattern on like how to build and develop this application. And like this should give you like enough information to think about, well, how do I relate like one event to another event? Like how do I like look up this information? And you could take this code base very far if you wanted to. And I plan to get back to it here very soon, but I'm busy doing educational stuff, so
yeah,
haven't had much time to
absolutely.
iterate on this code base.
I mean, dude, this looks. I mean, it could be designed a little bit better, but it's already built. I mean, the structure's there, right, Santos? Like the structure. Yeah.
The functionality is all there.
Yeah.
I was going to do the design next, and I have a very cool design that.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, a friend and colleague made for me.
Oh, wow.
But I used Bootstrap for this just to like get something together quickly, but now I've moved to use Tailwind. As you can see, my design skills have greatly improved, which is a great segue before we review our last code base.
Yeah.
How that works.
Yeah. So if you haven't heard, there's this amazing conference going on in Atlanta in 21 days. In 21 days, it's going on. It's called TabConf. Cheap tickets. I think they're only like $300 fiat. They take Bitcoin. They probably give you a discount with Bitcoin, I would imagine. But we're going to be doing a hackathon there. There's 4 days of building. You're going to have the builder days. This is the builder days of the summer, right? You're going to have workshops there. There's going to be villages. There's going to be the BitDev Socratic village. So all the BitDev, is it all the BitDevs that get together and go down there and kind of share that village, I think? Isn't that how it works, Santos?
Bunch of speakers from all over the place, for sure.
Yeah, here's your chance to complain about any kind of bips or anything. This is where you go. You go to that village and you take it up with them. And then also you got the Lightning Village. So that's gonna be ran by Zebedee, one of the coolest brands in the space, man. And Ree and Santos are gonna be hanging out there. This is where we're gonna do the hackathon, the trophy, the presentations. We're gonna have some panels there. I think I'm scheduled to talk. I don't know why they would give me a mic. This is the worst thing ever. Sorry, this is what's gonna happen. Just me rambling. And Santos, you're doing some panels. What are some panels that we're doing inside Lightning Village?
Yeah, I have a 6 schedule planned for Lightning Village.
Can you share anything? Is there a Fiat Joff sighting?
There's not going to be a physical Fiat Joff because
that we know of. That we know of. You never know.
He's an AI. I mean,
he's an AI.
The only logical conclusion. He's everywhere, all at once. Yeah, there might be a really cool fireside chat with Andre Nettis, our CTO, and Fiat Joff. That could be really sick.
Oh, wow.
Really sick.
God, dude, if that happened, that would be great. I'm looking forward to that one. There's some other really cool panels going on. The Base 58 Protocol Village is going on too as well. I know Nifty has a lot of really cool stuff up her sleeve. Can't wait to check that out. The Next Gen Village. Oh, man. So many great villages. And then they still have the main stage. It's really one of the most wonderful technical conferences out there in North America.
It's jam-packed with value.
It's like, yeah, I mean, for what you're paying and what you're getting. And then you could even, dude, we're doing a hackathon there, Santos.
Wait, what? We're doing a hackathon?
We're doing a hackathon there. There's going to be a trophy there. We're going to load up sats on these little NFC cards that we're going to give you when you win. It's going to be amazing. You're going to be able to drink out of, the trophy with a mojito sponsor, hopefully, or whatever sponsor that we get. And you know what I mean. Or you could just drink, club soda coffee like me. But yeah, it's going to be great. Go sign up here. Click on that link, Santos. 10,000 worth of prizes. It's insane.
I hear this really good resource too called PlebBook.
Oh, I've never heard of this. What is this?
Looks like it's a community resource for aspiring developers and builders to learn and get involved with the Bitcoin Lightning ecosystem. It's like a manual for Bitcoin and Lightning.
Wow, this is amazing. Look at all that free education and coding and links and APIs. Oh, man. Who's behind it? Oh, wow. The people at PlebLab and Base 58. Oh, even better. That's amazing. Yeah. So check out plebbook.com. Go there if you want to get started. This is great for if you're just curious, where do I even start? What are the technical conferences? What are the bit devs? What are all these things you guys are talking about? Go to PlebBook. There's all the links there. all the community hubs. Yeah, and also go to TabConf. Go to TabConf. Cool. I think we're ready. Let's get into the last part.
Yeah, we're almost there. So now that kind of concludes all of our education for Formster and kind of looking at an example implementation for the Noster tools package. So we're good there. Let's look at something I was hacking on just yesterday.
Oh, the login with Noster? Nice.
Yeah, I was inspired by Stacker News and like all the other cool sites that have built with Noster and built like authentication mechanisms. And I was thinking, how does this work? And then I got busy writing some code. I had an idea, and when I have ideas, I like to go and execute on it immediately. So from there, let's go ahead and run this and see what's going on. So I just cloned the repository. I installed the dependencies. And now we're pretty much good to go take a look at what's going on with login with Noster. So doing
that's cool.
Very basic. But
can you zoom in? Can you zoom in a little bit? Can you zoom in a little bit?
Yeah.
Just like so everybody can see it. Oh wow! Look at that! Look at that! I want to touch it, but I can't because I'm physically far away from it. Look at that, dude! That's so cool.
So we can open up the console too.
It looks so much better in black than it does purple. That's just me, but
I like black.
Me too.
I like styling in black and white. I'm not a complicated man.
Yeah, I tend to like black and white too. I don't know why. It's just the goth in me, I guess. I don't know what it is. Who knows, Santos? Who knows? But yeah, that looks really clean. That looks really clean.
We'll style it some more too. I won't leave it hanging like Formster. I'll make this like a properly styled page with Tailwind. I got some more tricks up my sleeve now.
What's Tailwind, Santos? Real quick, just so people know.
Tailwind CSS is like let's just pull up the website. That'll be easier. So you can basically have this utility functions in CSS to build almost anything that you want. So what I did was I just like watched YouTube, and then I looked at like a bunch of example CSS or like classes from Tailwind. I asked ChatGPT a bunch of questions about it. I just slowly iterated. I kind of got a feel for it and I understood it. And then I wanted to dig in deeper. So then you click the Get Started button. You look at all the documentation. You kind of read it from this point after you get the installation set up and such. And then you can learn like all about like Tailwind, the CSS classes, which CSS classes you need to use. And that's what we built that TabConf site.
Wow. Look at that.
And Next.js happens to like come with it, like as a part of its package, you can install it. So you can just get it like right out the box with Next.js, which is what I've been using for all the JavaScript kind of related
that's awesome. That I've been showing. Dude, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that.
This is what Next.js is too, for the folks that don't know. So you go to nextjs.org.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah, dude. I love that you're showing everybody how you're building things. This is cool. This is what you can go learn. Go to Zebedee's documentation. It's all there. It's all there.
So now let's run through this login with Noster. So then you can click this login with Noster, and you can see I created and signed an event. So that happened really fast, right?
Yeah.
But here you can see in the console, and then I'll adjust this real quick with my browser extension. So from there, you can see I called sign event, which then passed the event into the browser extension. I've already approved this site with my browser extension. Mm-hmm. So it already automatically like authorized it. And then it returned back the ID and the signature, and then I broadcast the event. So imagine like Formster using this to create threads and forms and comments instead of generating a key pair automatically. You can kind of reduce some of the things you need to build and make it even easier. You could use this for not only like authentication, but just publishing events in general for short notes. Yeah. And that's what clients like Primal use as well. So it just passes the event to your browser extension. Your browser extension gives it back, and then you're able to publish something.
And honestly, to the people that are like listening out there right now, like This makes it so much easier just for like a regular pleb to get introduced to whatever thing you're building. Like this has been one of my things telling Keon to implement into Stacker News for the longest time, and then finally he had time to do it. But like this makes it so much easier for people to start using your product right away or app or whatever that you're building. It even throws you into the category for the hackathon. Just add this. And now you're in the Nostr category too, technically, right?
Yeah, you're right about that. I would say if you built like a system where you're using Nostr auth, like, or not Nostr auth, but you're verifying someone has the authority to publish an event, and then from there you create an account for them or log them into their account.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's fair, right? Yeah, we got to give it to them.
So basically, let's kind of examine how this code works. So we have our app directory. We're going into page, which is the index page. So the home page that we're looking at with the Nostr button. You can see we're using some Tailwind here, we're making some progress on our styling. And from there, we have this login page, which when you click this Nostr button, as you can see with this Nostr login component, we're handling the click, we're waiting like 2 seconds, and then we're sending them to /login. So here we have login, and then on this login page, what we're doing is we're fetching a challenge from our API. So from our API, we're just generating a large random number. We're creating a hash. And then from there, we're setting the hash to be a hex encoding, and then we're returning the challenge back to the client. Once we get this back from the client, if we have a valid browser extension, and here's the fetch challenge here. So we're calling this fetch challenge, which is calling our API. From there, if the challenge is not null, then we're going to go ahead and continue. We construct the authentication event. And then from there, we're setting the kind, the current timestamp, which we're generating the same way that we were generating it with Nostr tools. We're setting the content, and we're signing the event. So we're using the browser extension. We're waiting for it to sign. We print out or console.log the signed event. We check if this is okay, and we're setting the okay from there. And then once we have an event change on the okay and very okay, if both are true, so we validate the event and the event is successful, it's very okay, then we're going to go ahead and push the user back to logged in. And you can see that it takes this in as a dependency. So we're only executing this when okay and very okay has changed, in that's what shows the login. So when we push them to logged in, we go to the page and then we just show them logged in. So like the next step that I would do with this code base and what I'm planning to do is actually like use Supabase or another like auth platform to create an account associated with that user and issue them like a cookie or a session or a JWT, something like that, so then they can stay logged in, and then you can show specific things to them or not.
So I have a question, Santos. With this thing that you created, can you also do it to where you send them a DM maybe through Nostr that they know, hey, you're logged in now or something? Like, could that theoretically happen? I don't know why you would do it, but like, could that happen?
Yeah, in some of the discussion in the pull requests related to like this functionality, there's a really cool idea proposed by someone. I don't remember who it was anymore, but they like DM the user a PIN code, encrypted DM.
Oh,
a
boss.
PIN code, so you log in, kind of like Magic Link, but for Nostr. So that's one implementation I want to do.
That's so smart, dude.
Well.
That's actually, that's actually a great way to do it, right?
Yep, and then if you can decrypt it, then you know the PIN code, and you enter it in just like the code that you would normally get. You could even generate 4, 5, 6 random numbers, and then you could have a database to like check and see the login attempts. And if there's too many, then you just don't allow them to log in, like kind of trying to brute force it. But
yeah,
this is like cool. Some things you can do. I also came up with like a flow where you could pass this to mobile apps too, as like a Nostr event. You know, like invoices, you have the URI lightning : LNBC or LNURL ... You could do something similar where we create this, like we showed earlier, like the npub, the nsec relating to the Nostr public key encoded as like Bec32, or the secret encoded as Bec32. You could do n auth and then pass in this event such that it's like Nostr : n auth ... When you click on it from a button, it'll prompt an application that is looking or listening for this sort of URI, which then you could then handle like the signature and the sending back of the data. But you would need a callback essentially, in order to handle that. So that's something I'm thinking about.
So many possibilities, dude. There's so many possibilities with when you have something like this added to it. It just changes. You can go so many different ways. It's interesting. This is why I love Nostr so much. There's so much innovation that's happening right now in the ecosystem, and it's just like these little things, and everybody's working really hard to, get some standardization, I guess you should say, out there, right? So
absolutely, we'll see different models, see different things tested, maybe combinations of things. And it's just a very promising space. Like you're saying, like you're taking this thing that's kind of like old and not very sexy and making it like kind of sexy and fun to work on again. It's just new. It's innovative. Like you're able then to like bring your identity to like whatever client that you want, and you really have like full control over that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the beautiful thing about Nostr is like you have freedom technology without even knowing it's freedom technology. That's superior technology.
Yeah, that's one of the great things I love with that Odell has like really championed out there. He's just like talking about how it's like this freedom technology, that's freedom technology. And it's such a great flag for Nostr to carry, I think. And I think a lot of us really believe that. So great stuff, man. Great stuff. Great stuff. It's a good community. So, good community that's being kind of made right now around Nostr.
Definitely. But that's pretty much like how Formster works in a nutshell. And all we have here in this sort of utils crypto library is basically generating the random number and returning it. So
you look like a shadowy. You look like a shadowy supercoder right now, by the way.
Oh yeah, the sun's going down here. I didn't turn my light on.
There you go. Whoa.
Gotta bring back the bright screen, right?
Yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. I love what you presented today. But you know what else I love? I love that we're doing a hackathon. Literally doing a hackathon on this very interesting night on September 6th through the 9th. Yeah, through the 9th. There will be a hackathon going on, Santos. It's the first ever Zebedee PlebLab collab hackathon. I'm excited, man. It's gonna be fun.
Me too. Like I even like like Goku goes Super Saiyan. I go Super Shadowy Supercoder. I get double supers in there, dude.
But yeah, if you haven't signed up, we've been talking about it the whole time. We're going over all this stuff to make it easier for y'all to come learn and come build at TabConf. It's one of the best technical conferences out there. But we're also going over it to give you some ideas, And let's say you're going there solo and you don't have a friend. And you're like, you'll make friends. I'm your friend. Santos is your friend. Come to the Lightning Village. We'll be your friends. We'll help you find a team. I've seen it so many times at hackathons, right, Santos, where people will go by themselves. And then before you know it, they leave the weekend. They leave the hackathon with like multiple friends and prize money and that's a beautiful thing to see. Every time it happens, I'm always like, I love it.
I always 10x like my own personal development after going to hackathons because you just learn so much about so many things from all kinds of people. Like you have the judges, you have the mentors, you have your peers, you have other teams, you have pressure, you have to like push yourself to execute on things you might have been kind of like putting off or procrastinating on, but now you have a real thing that you need to contribute to, where you can win money, you can make friends, you can compete. There's just so many great aspects of it. I've been doing hackathons now for like 6 years approximately. I've been competing in like doing hackathons, and every single time, like whether I'm a direct person competing or a mentor or a judge, I've learned an enormous amount and been surprised. So if you can like contribute at any capacity, you don't even have to be a dev.
Yeah, technically,
like if you're a business person, you could be developing economics, you could be doing content, you could be doing the pitch deck, you could be generating like business requirements. Like no matter if you're dev or not, like no matter if you can do this or not, you can understand the basic principles and concepts, and then you can contribute and be a part of a team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, this is what's ship it. You've been saying that all day. Ship it. This is where it's great. This is where it's great. You go there, which is like some Figma skills. you know, and then you leave with winning design, you know, in your group. It's a beautiful to see, man. It's beautiful to see. It's inspiring too. It's really inspiring. Who are gonna be the judges? Do we know yet? Have we announced that yet?
No, we haven't announced it. We got to announce that soon. Yeah, we have a good list of judges.
Oh yeah. Oh, so did you see that? I don't want to say anything yet, but did you see that one person is going to be a judge? Whoo, that's going to be amazing. Oh man, can't wait for that. That person. I don't want to say who it is. That person sees a lot of projects. So we're bringing you
opportunity to pitch.
We're bringing you all the best judges, the best mentors, the best documentation, best prizes. Come on, come to TabConf. Come to Atlanta.
Eat some Waffle House for sure.
Oh yeah. Did you go last? Did you go to the Waffle House last year?
Oh yeah, dude! I woke up early at like 6. And I showed up. I met some really great people from like BDK, LDK.
Yeah,
had a
same.
really wonderful conversation. It was dope, dude.
Yeah, it was cool. I saw. I always have a good time with Alex and then Steven too. Like we were eating their Waffle House, and there's like no seats. We were like, hey, we're almost done, and then we like ate really fast, and then the next group came in. Yeah, this is why it's and it's like so near the conference and everything. So this is why it's great. Go eat Waffle House every morning.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool stuff.
All right, so the last part is pretty quick. So just kind of like some like general terminology that people need to be aware of is like client. This is interchangeable with app. This is a Nostr client is an app that speaks the language of Nostr. It can be like we talked about, mobile phone, desktop, tablet, laptop, whatever you want it to be. Post, I like to refer to the post as like the text notes, because like who says like, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and create a text note. It's not really the terminology, right, that people use with apps. So that's like the event kind one. That's what most people are talking to you about post or replies or comments. Then we have DMs. So Nostr also has DMs. We have like encrypted DMs. They are visible to everyone though, and it's queryable. They're not private, but they are encrypted. So important thing to note about DMs. Interactivity, we have likes, retweets, quote tweets, as people call it, or reposts, as people call it, quote repost on Nostr. But if you're familiar with Twitter, this is like the things that Nostr has. And these are also events with a specific type. And they work the same way from like existing social media perspective and user experience perspective. So it's like virtually identical, but it's on Nostr and it's a Nostr event. And you have all the advantages of Nostr as a consequence of that. Then we have follow and unfollow. So you can follow based on public keys. We also have the standard called NIPO5. Looks like a lightning address, looks like, and can even have lightning address information in it. So you can have this identifier that you can receive money to. And have all your following and have all your posts tagged to it. Not just on like social media, but on blogs, forums. Like you just have this one ID. It's just like, oh, Santos at zbd.gg. Like it's everything.
Dude, that's like I don't understand why everybody else hasn't figured. Dude, it's incredible. Nostr's incredible, man. So just get saps all day in your sleep.
And we have the NIPO5 thing. So this is what it looks like. It's verifiable. And then ultimately what happens is you have this domain. So like, for example, you'd have santos.lol/.well-known/Nostr, and then it returns this thing. So you have like, I have an underscore. This is your username. So I copy Fiat off to be cool. And I put my underscore there. But you could put Santos or you could put whoever you want. So Santos at zbd.gg is an example. Oh, it's just an alias. It just makes a request to this web server. It gets back this JSON data. It looks for the name, and then it looks up the pub key, and that's how it knows your hex pub key. So this is like your username, basically. And you can see an example here.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and bring it up. And you can see, like, this is all returned. So it's just looking for this underscore and then looking up the pub key. Nothing really complicated about this. You don't even need to be a dev to ship something like that. Maybe I'll put together a project so then people can deploy it on Vercel. Boom.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
We talked about static payment addresses. So we have Lightning address. Here's an example of it. It's how people pay you. So the other one's like how people find you. This is how people pay you. And a lot of the times your Nippo5 alias will also be able to have an event attached to your pub key, which then has your Lightning address. So you can just receive money to one ID. It's amazing. It's interoperable. Then
Dude, it's so great. Gosh. I'm getting more bullish. I'm getting more bullish on Nostr the entire way through, Santos. It's not the coffee talking. It's not the coffee talking. It's like I'm getting more bullish.
So we have payments to Lightning address, and this is an event issued upon a successful payment. And then we have Zebedee, so it makes Nostr easy and user-friendly to onboard the next billion people to Nostr. So we're asking, like, you know, why don't more people find out about Nostr or try it? Well, we basically abstracted away all of the complexity of using Nostr. So you can see here, I'm linking music, we have posts, we have zaps over here on the right, we have likes, we have quote reposts, we have reposts, we have comments, and we're abstracting away all the complexity of relays, events. It comes with like your Nippo5 or your open network identifier. It has knowledge transfer, so it's very similar to like an experience you'd have with Instagram or Twitter. And then you have discovery of like different pub keys. So you can see here like an example of it. So it's kind of a sneak peek to our Nostr client because it's currently invite only. So here you can see,
where's my invite, Santos?
I'll get your invite.
I'm like looking at this. I'm like, why don't I have one? So just for the plebs at home that are watching this, and for me too, I don't know this. What's the difference between like Zebedee and like a Damus? Right, Damus is like, you know, what are the two differences?
We have a different approach to how we built with Nostr than Damus, but we're all apps that speak the same language of Nostr. So
it doesn't matter where you're posting, whether you're posting on Damus or one of these other ones. You could still use the Zebedee social one, right? Is that basically what you're saying?
You can even
see the same post.
Your public and secret key into our app and post from there, or you can use a new one that's generated. It's totally up to you.
Do you guys have like the images where I can upload an image and a video, or is that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. We have image upload now. We're still working on video. You can like put a link to a video, but yeah, this is an alpha currently, so it is very early stages, and that's why it's currently like a waitlist. Yeah. So
yeah, dude, give me and then can you give invites to people that come to the Lightning Village? Will you give them invites or no?
Yeah, dude. For sure will. I'll onboard you right then and there.
There you go. You heard it here first. If Santos denies you an invite to the Zebedee social app, you can say, "Hey, remember that stream I was watching? Give me the invite code." No pressure.
I won't do that to you guys. I honor my word.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude, I can't wait to check it out. I really want to play with this thing. I really love a lot of the different Nostr apps that are out there. And you guys have been really early on championing Nostr from the get-go. So it's really cool to see y'all's interpretation of it. I think there's just so much room for everybody to do different ways of doing it, dude. Right?
Absolutely. And then with our app, you get like the username, the Nippo5 identifier, you get your Lightning address. So it's great for people that you're like onboarding that are not technical and not going to go down a deep rabbit hole, but want to be a part of this future. And you can see like, yeah, if you have DMs, you have all the functionality that you'd be looking for. We have some cool Wave Lake stuff. You can find people.
Oh, that's dope. It comes in dark mode.
Yeah, you have dark and light mode, and then of course sign up at the TabConf hackathon. Come build,
doggy! Sign up. Are we at the end already? Oh no,
we're at the end.
I say we go another 24 hours, Santos. We go another 23 hours. Go get some more coffee.
A lot more zaps for that. I'll stay up 1 hour.
I'm kidding.
For every 1,000 sats that we get, 1 hour. So we'll send like 24.
I know.
Or 100,000, I'll die. I'm just kidding. I won't do that.
We have jobs tomorrow. No, but you know, speaking of jobs, if you're looking for a job, if you're looking to come build on Bitcoin, come to TabConf. Like seriously, go to the TabConf website, Santos. Let's show them one more time. If you don't go to TabConf, how else are you supposed to, you know, get out of this craziness that's going on in the world? That's all I'm saying. Go to TabConf, sign up. You'll get your project entered. You start building, and then good things can come out of it. Has there ever been a bad thing that came out of you joining a hackathon, Santos, just from experience alone?
Just staying up late. That's it.
So no sleep. That's about it. But
Yeah.
you'll have company. There'll be great people like Santos there. Myself, I'll be there. We're going to have these hacker nights that we're throwing in the Lightning Village. There's going to be other things going on too as well. So if you get bored, you can always jump around and yeah. And then also click on the TabConf link. Go to TabConf. Get your ticket now. There's really, I don't know. Can they sell out? They probably can at some point. You know, dude, right there. Get it. It's perfect. Get your tickets. I would imagine everybody's going to this one, dude. Like everybody's going to go there. It's going to be a phenomenal. Can't wait. I'm excited.
That'd be sick.
So I need to buy my plane ticket. I was supposed to do it yesterday. Need to do it today. Need to do it today before I go to sleep.
Yeah, definitely.
Prices will only go up. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
If you want to stay engaged too, you can hop on our Discord as well. So you can join the Zebedee Discord. I'm on there. You can chat with me, ask me questions, and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. If you watch this video and you're like still curious how Santos did something, go to the Zebedee Discord and ask him questions. He loves to get bothered during the day.
Definitely.
And then also check out the learning page. There's a lightning course by Zebedee there. There's get started with the Zebedee API. A lot of people in the lab use the API because it's really, really easy to use and very like, you know, y'all support is phenomenal too. People ask you questions, you answer right away in the Discord. It's awesome. And then we have Pleb Book as well too. Check that out. Thank you to our sponsor Folger. And if anybody's listening out there who wants to sponsor, definitely reach out. We're still looking to get some more sats on the table for the builders.
Definitely.
Had a good time today, Santos. Thank you. Thank you for doing this. We're going to end it here. And, oh, yeah, I forgot about this. What is this, Santos?
Oh, good. Thank you, Car. And thank you, Pleb Lab.
Oh.
Thank you for like everyone that's tuning in, whether you're live or you're going to watch this later. Thanks to my lovely wife, Haiti. Andre Nevis, our CTO, for the help and mentoring. Fiat Joff for being Gosu Joff. Brianna, Peachy, and my team at Zebedee. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you to all the plebs out there listening and sending us sats during this broadcast. We're going to do another Spaces. This is going to be like we're going to try to get it set up on Nosterness, and then we're going to do it on Spaces too, but we'll have a conversation about this again. And then we have another stream set up next Tuesday as well. Is that right?
Yeah, we have another stream set up. We'll go over some Lightning UX, some Lightning UIs, some integration flows, look through some more code bases, and we'll have some fun.
Yeah, and also if you're going to be in Pleb Lab, you're going to be in Austin, I should say, come to Pleb Lab. We have a lot of events going on next week. We'll be talking about TabConf too as well. So it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. All right, I'm going to end it there.
All right, peace, everyone.
Later, guys.